Hello, that's St. Moritz Art Film Festival. We are in our third day, and today we were dealing with films that connect becoming landscape through languages, through systems. And one of our wonderful guests is Theo Eshetu, here with me. Theo brought with him a film called Moving Museum. Departures and arrivals. Arrivals and
departures.
And the film is dealing with preparations and installation of the Humboldt Forum in Berlin. Where two other museums found place and objects of other museums. One is the Ethnological Museum of Berlin and the other the Museum of Asian Art.
That's right.
And Theo accompanied this process and also wrote a wonderful text about what happens with these objects, how he sees their history, their future, and also there is a lot of own work of Theo, like dance choreographies and portraits, which we see in this movie. What can you tell us a little bit more about this work, Theo?
Well, I think compared to a normal documentary, my question was not so much to ask, to express an opinion about it. Rather, it was to question why it exists in the first place. And therefore, the idea of this museum and all the whys it could be put into play. It's a museum that's had a lot of controversy. It's a museum that has had a lot of ideological input from the German government to represent something. And I try to unravel all the complexities of the why it exists.
Which, what surprised me when I first saw the movie was the complexity of your approach. And I was very nicely surprised because it wasn't like repeating the controversy that we know already from the headlines. It was really showing the ambivalence and the difficulties to deal with all these problems connecting to cross-cultural differences and also to the fact that artifacts from one culture find place in another culture. What does it mean for both cultures and what does it mean for us as a civilization?
Well, that's a very complicated question you just asked me. But the answer to that is that I didn't approach it as myself. In other words, I'm not me in the film. I'm an imaginary character. And that imaginary character is a kind of maybe an eagle, or maybe someone who's just observing what's going on. Maybe even a trickster. I often imagine that I was a trickster, where you might or you might not trust what I say. And therefore, it's a character that manages to say, my dear African brothers and my Asian sisters. Now, if you think about it logically, there can't be a figure that says my African brothers and my Asian sisters. So that's the introduction to this imaginary character who is from nowhere and everywhere, observing this situation that happens at the heart of Berlin.
At all cases, I think that this playfulness, this element of playfulness, make this very complicated matter more agreeable to look at. And I think our public enjoyed very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a subject matter, in particular the Humboldt Forum, which doesn't come with a lot of humor. And I thought it would be a pity not to have some humor in it. And I thought that might be a way of mixing a serious consideration of all the questions around it with a smile.
You succeeded very much in it. So if anybody has a chance to see the movie, great recommendation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.